Did you notice that Twitter got redesigned? Well, they redesigned the website. I don't know if yours is actually redesigned or not.
I opted out of it.
You opted out of the redesign.
But I think in time you won't have a choice.
Why did you opt out?
Change.
Why? I'm curious. Why did you opt out? Or is that just your way of doing things?
Yeah.
You're just not an early adopter. I see.
Old habits.
Well, I feel like I should let people know, for those that didn't see it yet, because not everybody even got the prompt yet. Eventually, everyone will have it, whether they like it or not, which is the reason I opted in. I'm like, all right, let's check it out. But I feel you. On YouTube, I don't opt into new things right away because it's too critical for me. Twitter, I felt like I could get away with it. I don't mind the new interface. It's obviously heavily inspired by the mobile app, but I was already not really using the web app. I was using TweetDeck. And to me, this kind of shares some aspects with TweetDeck, so it feels easy enough to participate in. Like, it's not a huge transition process for me. The other thing I like about it is switching between accounts is pretty seamless. I switch between accounts from time to time. I like when if you click on a tweet, it gives you some context of the relevant people involved in the thread of the conversation. It elevates certain aspects on the site that otherwise wouldn't be. Like, I think conversations in general appear a little bit better on the home feed here. The bookmarking of tweets, historical tweets to save for later if you see something good. And also the emphasis on search. Because I find myself on desktop especially using Twitter for search around events more frequently. So the emphasis, you put it right at the top right, implies like, hey, use Twitter for search. Like, do it. Like, search for some news or an event or a meme or what's trending, which happens to actually be underneath the search bar. I actually don't mind it. So you opted out. I'm kind of a fan of it. Now, granted, the desktop app is always going to be the desktop app. It's going to pale in comparison from a usage perspective to the mobile app. We saw this happen on YouTube in our own analytics. Everyone's using smartphones. Very few people are using the desktop app, which is partly the reason that I like what they did with it, because it's like, hey, let's think about this. If you are on the desktop, maybe you want to do something different because you obviously felt compelled to go here, whether that's reading more, whether that's posting more, who knows what it might have, or for example, the bookmark component. I don't know. I don't know if it's a big deal or not. But people seem to be like you, Will. A lot of people seem to be like you. When something like that changes that they're really used to, they're reluctant.
Yeah, it's a radical visual design, which
Well, now that you're looking at it, now that you're looking at it, what are your thoughts, Will? Good or bad?
I like it from a visual standpoint. Maybe I just got to use it to get used to it.
Okay.
That's really what it is. I mean, I really have no choice later on when you can't opt out anymore.
You know, they say that, but I don't think that's always the case. Like, I think they say that, but then imagine you keep hitting the opt-out button. Imagine enough people keep hitting, like this happened in Creator Studio on YouTube. They changed Creator Studio substantially. And they kept saying like, hey, this is your last chance. But I kept opting. And I saw other people complaining too to stay on the old version of it. And I don't think they're forcing people anymore. So
they gave up.
There's probably a certain amount of volume. If a certain amount of volume of people opt out, they're going to see that data and go, man, people really aren't into it. And maybe not transition as quickly as they had originally planned. Anyway, I'm into it. It's a simplification. It's in line with mobile, and I think it kind of has to be because I think most people's experiences start and end here. And so if they do look to hop onto desktop, maybe to do some more power functions, the fact that there's cohesiveness between the two from a design perspective, I think is a friendlier concept than something that looks drastically different when you get to the desktop. So anyway, new Twitter. Check it out if you got the prompt. It's in the top right corner. It says try the new Twitter, whatever.